Hey everybody, Thwargle here. Um, so I was walking through the woods a few days ago, and I stumbled upon Sips and Shin's house. So I knocked on the door, and no one was around. So they must have been really busy doing Sipsco important business. Maybe they were on a business trip, but I did notice the interview chamber, and when I went in here, there was a chest. Clearly, I decided to go through all their stuff. So I went in their chest in the interview chamber, and inside this chest there was a camera and some questions. So I naturally thought they were for me. So I took the camera, and this is what we're doing right now. You see the recording. I'm recording it. Hi, everybody. Oh wait, let me. Oh nope, that's my head. Oh, hello, hello everybody. So I'm recording everything that I'm doing, and I'm going to answer some questions. So I ran up here, and I looked in there, and I decided that it was pretty scary because there's pistons, and then I noticed there's like this redstone-y stuff on the floor, and there's levers and things and buttons, and I didn't want to go in there because I can't jump that high. That's two whole blocks high. I can't jump that high. So I'm gonna just be down here and walking around and doing my own thing because that's too scary. I can't be in there. So the first question was on this piece of paper, and it says, how old am I? I'm Thwargle, and I'm 26 years old. Boom. Question one done. Question two. Shin wants to know, what makes me want to be a pool boy? Well, clearly, it's my dream to be a pool boy. I would love nothing more than to be a boy by a pool and being called a pool boy. I could talk to the pool. We could play with each other. I could splash it, and it would splash back on me, and we could talk to each other at night sometimes. It's kind of night right now, and the lights are coming on. You might notice, Sips and Shin, when you watch this video, that I upgraded your pool. You might notice before you watch the video, but once you watch the video, you might understand who did it and why. I found these squid. These they they want to be a potato, but they're not quite old enough. So I put them in here in the hopes that one day they might be a potato. But I added a diving board because who doesn't like diving off of boards onto spuds? Baby potatoes. I painted the bottom blue for you, and I added these lights for safety. Clearly, you were not in the safety code guidelines, pool safety guidelines. You had no lighting, so I took it upon myself to fix that for you as part of the interview process to be a pool boy. So, I'm very safety conscious, and I think that's very important for a pool boy. So Sips wants to know that maybe for example, he's sitting by the pool sipping on a margarita, and he hasn't laughed all day. That's pitiful. It's been a whole day, and he hasn't laughed at all, and he's ready to laugh really hard, super hard, in fact. Um, and he wants this pool boy to come and tell him a joke to make him laugh. So I did hear that Mr. Sips loves a grammar joke. So here's the best I can do for a grammar joke. So a kid asks his mom to make him a sandwich. So she waves her arms around all crazy like and says to the boy, she says, "Poof, you're a sandwich." Because the kid asked his mom to make him a sandwich. Get it? She made him a sandwich. She didn't actually make him a sandwich. She turned him into a sandwich. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Shin says, he's setting up a scenario here. Say, for example, William Shatner, a biggest friend around the pool here with the Sips and Shin Sipsco manor complex here. William Shatner's he's here, and I walk pretty close to him, pretty much in his personal space, and he wraps a finger around the thong string that I'm wearing and snaps it. What would I do? I would clearly thank Mr. Shatner because it was definitely a compliment on the new elastic in my thong, which I have recently replaced. So I would definitely just say thank you, Mr. Shatner, for noticing my new elastic. Sips on this piece of paper that I found in the chest that I stole. Um, Sips wants to know what I would do if he was parched and he's sitting at the pool and the sun is just beating down on him and he's really thirsty. He wants to give me a multiple choice question here. So he's really thirsty. He's by the pool and he calls the pool boy for a margarita and he really just needs to wet his whistle. So would I A, prepare a margarita and run it over to him, or would I take an already prepared margarita out of my pocket and run it over to him? Or C, would I take an already prepared margarita and slowly walk it over to him? Well, A is clearly wrong. You would never run by a pool. That's safety rule number one. Never run by the pool. You might injure a spud. You could break your face right on this diving board that I've recently added. You could run into a torch and set the deck on fire. There's all kinds of safety hazards with running and decks and pools. So A is out. So B, would I take an already prepared margarita out of my pocket and run it over to him? Clearly we've been over this. You cannot run by a pool. It's just unacceptable. There's no running. There's no running in pools. So C, would I take a margarita out and slowly walk it over to him? Well, I don't think that's quite right either. So I think the answer would probably be D, to make up my own question answer, and it would be to speed walk a freshly created margarita over to Mr. Sips. He deserves a fresh margarita at a somewhat brisk pace. So you can't run, obviously, but leisurely walking is just rude, and he would notice that I was just lollygagging around. So that's just unacceptable. Let's see. On the paper it says Sjin sets up another scenario. He says David Cameron's over at the pool. He's taking his shirt off. He's had a hard day of work, and he's got a couple bottles of lube, and he wants me to lube him up. He can't get a sunburn. It's terrible for you. Your skin gets all tough and it starts peeling and it stings. So he's got two bottles. The first one is a grade A Sipsco certified dirt infused lube, or the second bottle is a bottle of grade A Sipsco modified ultra lube. Which one would I pick and why? Well, clearly I would pick the grade A certified dirt infused lube because, as any Sipsco employee would know, that's the most expensive of the two, and that's the one you want your customers to use because you need as much money as you possibly can get, and that's rule number one for Sips, is to get money for Sipsco. So that's what I have to go with. Sips also wanted to know, he said when it comes to lube, the dirt lube has grains of dirt that acts as an exfoliation device. The mud lube doesn't give you that. How would I be able to tell without Sips saying anything to me if he wanted to exfoliate it or not? And I would say to that you would always exfoliate Sips. Even though he never needs it. His skin is beautiful, but he can just afford it. So you would just give him the one that's the best, most expensive at all times, forever. And Sjin wants to know if I have any last words, and those would be possibly thanks for this job, and to remember to keep classy ladies in mind. Classy ladies both on the left and the right side of the pool, because nobody likes just two dudes and a pool boy. You gotta have classy ladies, and Thwargle is all about classy ladies beside the pool. And with that, I'd like to thank you, and bye.